Hello, this is Greg Allison with Green Greg's Garden and Worm Farm, coming to you at 2:23 a.m. on the 25th of February 2020 from my log barn. Hear the peepers? My friends, I come to you with news that is somewhat less than cheery, and it's that the COVID-19 virus is on the move. It's spreading, it's walking, it's getting around. Can we stop it? Can we slow it down? The chances of that are nothing to astound. My friends, this thing appears to be not treated the way you would think it would be in order to stop it in the West. What we know today, the so-called facts, and we're told, some of us, that, oh my gosh, you should stick to the facts, only the reported numbers from Johns Hopkins and other such things. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but those numbers are as follows. It is now over 80,000, actually from my last check, 80,150 confirmed diagnosed cases listed on the Johns Hopkins website. And this is mostly from mainland China, which posts 77,660 cases confirmed of the COVID-19 virus. Now, of that, they claim that there's 2,699 dead, but they claim there's 27,705 recovered. Okay, so that sounds interesting. Why should we be concerned with that, Greg? Well, as some of you know, I'm somewhat less than enthusiastic about numbers that come to us from countries that have a lot of parochial interest in, shall we say, highly controlled media, no freedom of speech, shall we say, communist countries, and other tyrannical authoritarian governments. It seems these days that authoritarian governments are falling in much favor. But I'm going to tell you that that's not where you want to go, my friend, and let's talk about it. So China has a lot of reports coming out of it from videos that are leaked from doctors, from people on the streets that are highly concerning. So I'm not going to try to get into interpret those. I'm sure some of you have seen them. If you've not, oh my God. And then there's the call-ins. There's been about 3 different entities that have called the crematoriums in Wuhan, and it's claimed that the crematoriums, that from the calls made, that the so-called operators are talking like they're disposing of 100 bodies an hour or a day. I don't know, some crazy number. A lot more than, well, yeah, it was per hour, I think. A lot more than what the mainland China authorities claim that we're losing. And they're claiming to be just working 24/7 and totally overtaxed. Well, you know, you could take that one way or the other. You could say it's all BS. Okay, fine. But there's a whole lot of different reports coming out from different sectors, different things, and they do seem to start falling in place to make for a jigsaw puzzle. Whether you don't accept that or not, that's fine. Let's just look at the numbers. Let's look at the numbers from Johns Hopkins and tell me if they make sense. And if they make sense, we're supposed to feel good, right? Actually, if you look at these numbers, they might scare the devil out of you now. And here's why. Think about this. Now, one of the countries that has really good transparency, I think, is South Korea. South Korea reports 893 cases, of which 8 are fatalities and 22 recovered. Okay, so if, you know, of course, all these are big ifs. You got to assume those are the actually totally confirmed cases. And, you know, if that is true, which I don't know about, you may have other people that are sick. But if you take it at that value, then that would suggest that you have a case fatality rate, CFR, 0.89%. So that's less than 1%, not too bad. They're still a lot worse than common flu at 0.1%. Considerably worse, like 9 times worse, if that's really the case in the numbers. But still, that says that your chances of making it are still pretty good, right? So that would be somewhat encouraging if that's the case. And it may be there. So let's go to Italy. Italy reports 229 cases with 7 fatalities, which would give them a case fatality rate of something on the order of 3%. Wow, now that's very concerning. 3%. Yeah, now we're talking, you know, up there. Big territory. But then we'll go to the next stage. Now these numbers have either got to be wrong or they're going to scare the pants out of you. And it's Iran. Iran reports 61 cases. Of course, Iran is a totalitarian society, so maybe we can't believe their numbers. And that's what I would like to believe. And that would tell me that I would like to not believe the Johns Hopkins numbers. Because I would have to say, gee, all these totalitarian countries just might possibly not report things as they actually are. Oh, we're not supposed to say that. That's just too shocking. But on the other, and we're supposed to believe that everything's okay. And here's where that whole analogy breaks down. It breaks down because here, if you've got 229 cases only, and you got 7 deaths, no, excuse me, pardon me, I'm in Italy numbers. Iran has 61 reported cases. Pardon me, I was in Italian numbers. Iran has 61 reported cases with 12 deaths, which gives you a case fatality rate of about 19.7, almost 20%. Almost 20% case fatality rate. 1 in 5 people get it, according to the numbers that is reported to Johns Hopkins by the government of Iran, who of course would be totally forthright with us, right? And all these numbers are totally right. But in this case, and it's supposed to calm us down, but in this case, it goes to the contrary. It would totally shock your pants off. That's scary. Now 1 or 2 or 3 things is happening here. Either Iran's not being forthright, which I definitely could see that, or this virus is mutated and we have something far worse going on in Iran, or it might be a combination of the two. Holy smoke. So the thing is, these numbers are all over the map, but whatever they are somewhat less than pretty, because the best number I just gave you was almost 9 times higher than the case fatality rate of the typical flu. And the typical flu at 0.1%. A lot of people say the actual fatalities are usually complications due to other health issues a person has while they have the flu. And it may in fact be the other things that do them in, and they just blame it on the flu because it's convenient. I don't know. A lot of speculation there. A lot of speculation. I don't get it. But here's what we know. It's spread. We know that there's a lot of numbers out there. We know that the numbers are all over the map and they don't seem to add up. We know that some other things concern us. It so happens that it seems the virus can survive on surfaces for up to 9 days. That people are infectious from the inception for a period of maybe up to 24, and in some cases longer, 27, maybe longer periods of days, before they start showing symptoms. Yet they don't want to test people until they have their symptoms, but these people are shedding viruses as they go around. And these people are shedding maybe a lot. It has a high R0 value. If uncontrolled and uncontained, the R0 value may be 4. Some people suggest 6 or higher, based on things like the Diamond Princess cruise line, based on things that are happening in South Korea, where it all apparently happening in one church, or most of it. My friends, there's some things to be concerned with here. The rate of spread, the spread when it's still in stealth mode, is a scary thing. The fact that even after people are supposedly totally recovered, they can, for maybe up to a week, still be shedding virus. And these so-called totally recovered numbers, for which are listed on Johns Hopkins site, which looks so nice, at, in the order of 27,705 at this moment. I'm sure it's going to be higher when you see it. Can be reinfected. So totally recovered may be a misnomer. So there's the concerns, my friends. That's what worries me. What really worries me at the core is that we have people moving around the United States who may have been exposed and are not showing symptoms yet. These may be 2 different types of people. People that have came from China, but they weren't showing symptoms and so they weren't monitored, or people that have been infected from people that came from China that have yet to show symptoms, or maybe they did and just these people didn't after dealing with them. I mean, hey, we just had a flight come back from Japan with 14 passengers on the Diamond Princess, who, at least when they got home, were tested positive. Now, whether they tested positive on the ground or in flight, it just so happens that the decision to put them on the airplane, we had a Deputy Assistant Undersecretary, sounds impressive, right? Deputy Assistant Undersecretary of the Department of State, who overruled the President of the United States and the experts, the CDC, in saying these people should only come home in a chartered flight, and he put them on an airline flight with unsuspecting civilian passengers. But never fear, don't fear, nothing to worry about there. They use duct tape and some plastic to separate them from the rest of the crew. And so what if the airplane was a little tin can going all the way across the ocean and all the air circulates? That'll be just fine. Well, okay. I'm sure a lot of you are totally buying that and will gripe at me for saying otherwise, because I get that. I hear that. Some people say, this, Greg, it's just a flu. What are you worried about? Well, we're seeing case fatality rates that look a little higher, but mainly it's spreading more. But Greg, the flu kills thousands of people every year. It does, indeed. But millions of people catch it. And this is just starting. Maybe millions will catch this too. There are some estimates that claim that maybe up to 60% of the world could catch this. Well, if it has an R0 value so high, the probability is very high, because the R0 value of a typical flu is only about 1.28. This is the infectivity rate. If you have an R0 of 1, that means one person infects one person. If it's R0 4, it means you infect 4. The regular flu is about 1.2, 1.28. The Spanish flu was much less than 4. The case fatality rate of the Spanish flu was something on the order of 2 or 3%, which is pretty high. Very high, actually. But this may be on the same order. It's hard to say. We don't know how many people have just mild cases. But see, the thing with the Spanish flu is it came back around. It had a second wave. The first wave was mild. The first wave was pretty much just like the regular flu. It was the second wave that was so deadly. We could see that with this, especially since we don't have any immunity, and people seem to be, in China, starting to get reinfected. Totally recovered people get reinfected. Do they get reinfected, or does it just re-show up in them? It could well be they're just getting reinfected, but we don't have a natural immunity to this pathogen. So, these things said, I point these things out because I want you to be aware. This isn't just everyday business. I want you to be aware that you seriously need to prepare. And I want you to be aware that there may be people walking around that have this. But Greg, they're all in Chicago, they're all here, they're all there. Well, my friends, where'd all those people from that aircraft go? Where do all the students that come from China go? Where do all these other people go? And do they drive up and down the highways, the freeways, or are they buying gas? Are they going in and out of the restrooms? And other people come through there and grab that same door handle, and then they come home to your hometown. And they grab the door handle at your fast food restaurant. They go in your grocery store. And then you walk in behind and grab the handle. I tell you not to do that. I tell you not to do that. You start using gloves. Use your back of your hands. Use knuckles. Use your sleeve. But then you better wash your clothes. Don't be keeping that stuff around. You might have a virus on it. It's about time to start wearing glasses. We're getting close to the point in time you need to think about start wearing face masks. If you're to do that. Yeah, they have limited effectivity. People talk about that. Yes, and I've talked about that in previous videos, especially the thin, cheap one. Yeah, and we talk about the N95, but you got to bear in mind the N95 is only 95% effective in filtering out particulate matter, which means large droplets that contain viral particles, not the viral particles themselves, like the sneeze, chew particles. But if it's pure viral particles, no, it's not going to stop them. You might spray it down with a little vinegar, with a little bit of thieves oil. Maybe that would help, because it's supposedly antiviral. Maybe if you can stand breathing it, if you're not allergic to it. You know, none of these are foolproof. It just so happens that doctors, medical staff are getting highly infected in these hospitals. They want to wear full protective gear. Now, are they really following good protocol? Or do they make a little human error? And when they're taking the garb off, you know, you got to be careful how you take this stuff off. Don't be touching those surfaces, and wash your hands when you're done. If you wear those things. If you wear them, make sure you wear a thick face mask. Make sure you're not like me. Shave your beard if you choose to wear those, at least where you seal it. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I'm debating that, because I'm me. I kind of think I'm immortal. I kind of think, you know, I'll beat it. You know, positive attitude is a big thing. The power of intention is big. Well, we might see how well that works if I decide to go down that route. I'm still considering and pondering how I'm going to deal with this. I may do some self-isolation. I'm getting some antiviral stuff. I'm doing some of these things. I'm doing the things to keep the immune system up, except I'm not getting sleep. I'm sitting here talking to you guys, which I should be in bed sleeping. Well, I just finished packaging some worms. See that? That's what we're doing here. Just finished packaging some worms here. So, in any event, yeah, a farmer's work is never done, especially when he has a day job. In any event, my friends, you know, I'm going to do another video after this one, maybe my very next one. I might even do it this evening tonight, maybe a live session. I may do it recorded. Let me think about that. I may do a live session and a recorded session with this topic separate. I'm going to do the topic about how to survive in quarantine. What to do under quarantine. Now, we may be put under quarantine, or we may go into self-quarantine. I mean, guys, if this was trivial just like the flu, then why is 10% of the world's population under quarantine right now? 10% of the world's population. In China, 760 million people, or somewhere thereabouts, I hear. There's, what, 7,500 under self-quarantine in LA area, somewhere in Southern California, and 200 in Atlanta. So, you know, you might want to self-quarantine if you're not put in quarantine. A lot of people may self-quarantine. That may cause a lot of services in society to go lacking, maybe considerably lacking. My friends, now's the time to prep. Now is the time. Now is no longer the time to drag your feet. Go prep. If you're not prepped, do it. If you can afford to buy any kind of thing, be it macaroni and cheese, dried beans and rice, and yeah, I went to Sam's Club and got some of that today. I stocked up some more. I stocked up some more N95 masks. Even if I don't wear them, I've got other people that will. We'll see about that. I have to decide. I have full-blown gas masks too, my friends. So now is the time. Now is the time. I just got a shipment in from My Patriot Supply, my friends. And just so happens, I'll be doing a video on that soon, and a demo, the food from My Patriot Supply, and how it's good stuff. You need to know right now that I have special offers through a new deal I've set up with My Patriot Supply. Go to preparewithgreg.com. preparewithgreg.com. And there you can get a 2-week supply with about $70 off. You get $100 off of a month supply, a 4-month supply with $100 off. I mean, it's a huge discount. And if you look, if you can afford it and go to a year supply, I'd do it. If you can get a few years supply, now's the time. We don't know, my friends, the Spanish flu was 2 years and going around and around. Now, fortunately, we're coming into, hopefully soon, the summertime here. There'll be more sun, more ultraviolet, and this thing will go away for a season. But then it may come back in the fall, may come back in the winter. We may get a break. We may get a spell, a chance to breathe. But it may get bad before we get to that chance. It's still wintertime, my friends. It's still winter. This is February. And we got we still got a month to go of winter, roughly a month. And then spring, you can still have the flu in the spring. So we need some warm weather and a lot of sun, and people going out exposing their skin to the sun and getting the vitamin D up, the immunity. That's what fights this, the immunity. So that's what we're looking forward to, my friends, getting that immunity up, getting the vitamin D up. So, like I said, I'm going to do some more videos. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, somebody, I do sell worms. GreenGregs.com, www.greengregs.com. You know, if you're in quarantine, you need something to break down your waste, to make good soil to grow plants in, to grow something to eat because you're under quarantine, you can't get out and buy it. Holy smoke, what a solution for you. GreenGregs.com. Also, you need those seeds to plant in, so go to True Leaf Market. Links, I have links for that in many of my videos, and hopefully I'll get them under this one, maybe not immediately, because it's late. I'm going to go to bed in just a little bit, believe it or not. Yes, but I got to get up early because I got to ship these. I got to go to work. Yes, my day job. So, my friends, I do this video to just try to wake you up because I'm still hearing so many people. You say, "Great, we've heard all this. What are you telling us? What's different? What's new?" I got so many friends out there who think this is nothing, who aren't worried about it, who I don't want you to be scared. I want you to prepare. I want you to get ready. I want you to consider hygiene, to change your protocols for how you operate so that you don't get as infected, so that you can quarantine. And if you have to quarantine, you've got what you need. If you are quarantined against your will, you've got what you need. Even if catching this thing is inevitable and there's nothing else you can do about it, I tell you to keep your immune system high. And if you do catch it, that means you can deal with it better. It gives you a better chance of not catching it and a better chance of dealing with it if you do catch it. That's what you get with the higher immune system. So do everything you can to get your immune system up. We've covered that in other videos. I'm not going to talk about it anymore tonight. I may in the future. Go check my earlier videos on these topics. I do talk about that quite a bit. I talk about hygiene protocols, protective gear. We'll probably cover some more of that in the future. But my main point of this video is to tell you it's real. It's here. The time has come. Start prepping. It's moving around. It's silent. We don't know where it is. It may be moving around in our communities and we just don't know it. Now, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now, it could explode. Then suddenly everybody knows about it. Then everybody gets panicking, going and rushing and buying stuff. Then you won't be able to get anything. In fact, people are starting to wake up. Gee, the stock market just dropped 6,000 points. The stock market just dropped. Why? People are starting to wake up. And because people are starting to wake up, my friends, that means it's time to prepare. It's time to go get things right now. Because the shelves may get bare real soon because people are starting to wake up. They're starting to get concerned. So don't wait any longer. Do it now. That is the point of this video. It is moving around. People are waking up. You need to prepare. You need to prepare now. That is the point of this video. It's here. We don't know how much. We don't know how far. We don't know how bad it'll be. Maybe to fizzle out. But, and if all this blows over and becomes of nothing, bear in mind this. 2 sets of knuckleheads, two knucklehead organizations on this planet saw fit to create a human transmissible bird flu, H5N1 bird flu in their laboratories in the Netherlands and in Indonesia. That virus has been created. It's alive or has lived. Well, a virus is not truly alive in the sense that we know life. It can stay dormant practically forever. It doesn't have a lot of what we call the characteristics of life, but it can replicate. But so can a misfolded protein called a prion. So that bird flu, the H5N1, had a case fatality rate, CFR, of 50 to 60%. Now maybe the human transmissible version wouldn't be as bad. People were only catching it from direct handling of poultry in the time. But it had an extremely high case fatality rate. If the human transmissible versions they created are anywhere near as bad, it's terrible. These things should not be made on this planet. Organizations that do that should be shut down. Their labs should be nuked. Well, not literally, but something should be done. These organisms should not be existent. And in any attempt to clean them up, one would have to be extremely meticulous in protocol. That the Cleanup Act didn't release them. Maybe it's impossible to clean them up. Why do we want to experiment with such things? The fact that we have those organisms created on Earth, the fact that organizations see fit to do that, means that you are at risk for something far worse in the future than the Wuhan flu, COVID-19. It could get a lot worse. It could get a lot worse real soon. That stuff's out there right now in 2 labs on Earth. If we absolutely have to do such research, do it on the moon. At least the moon isn't going to fall down back to Earth one day. It's going out the other way. If it does, you got bigger problems to worry about. Do it on the moon. Not even on Mars. Mars has a biosphere. The moon don't have a biosphere. It's already a nuclear environment. So, my friends, that is so crazy. I don't think we should even do it on the moon. Those are things that should not be done. But somebody in their infinite wisdom saw fit to do it. And some people think that the COVID-19 was created under similar circumstances. Well, if so, was it released accidentally? Maybe. Intentionally? Maybe. I don't know. We can debate that till the cows come home. All we know is it's here. It's moving around. It seems to be here now. 53 cases reported in the United States now. But of those 53 cases, my friends, what are they testing? Test kits sent out by the CDC were faulty. Only 3 states got good kits. They're only testing people who are from China. They're only testing people who were positive of, showing positive symptoms, flu symptoms from China. You had to have all these conditions to even get tested. So there's a lot of other people who have been on flights, connected to these people, been there, that aren't getting tested. People that may have been infected from picking, these other people walk around, wipe their nose or pick their eye, put their finger in their ear, stuck it on a table, and somebody walked behind, stuck their hand on the table or a doorknob, and eventually it goes to their eye, their nose, their mouth, and bam, those guys aren't getting tested. There's a guy in Canada who had a lot of contact with some people from Asia. He's showing all the signs of COVID-19, include the pneumonia in the lungs that's been shown on the x-rays, and they won't even test him. So my friends, can you believe the numbers? Can you believe it's 53? Can you trust it? I say the chances are that the reality is a lot more of it moving around. And even if it is just 53, it will still be a lot more soon because of just the transmissibility of it. I think there's a lot more of it moving around. We don't know where it is, but it's going to spread and spread and spread. And soon it will be somewhere near you. Look how fast it spread in China. We are at the point China was, maybe in early January in terms of case numbers. Oh my gosh, look what happened. Look how fast it went to shutting down, twice the population of the United States, more than twice the population of the United States. And quarantine. Will it happen here? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here, my friends. I'm not saying this or that will happen. I'm just saying you need to be aware and you need to prepare. That is the point of this video. It's moving around. It could get ugly, and it could get ugly fast. But whatever the case is, the smart thing to do is to prepare. I mean, gosh, if you think, you might have a wreck one day in a car, you'll probably buckle your seatbelt. You don't expect to have that wreck. Chances are you're not, but you still buckle the seatbelt, don't you? Prepare. Prepare. And if this don't get us, hopefully nothing else will. But there's a couple of far worse organisms sitting in labs in Indonesia, in the Netherlands, and maybe in other places, and somebody else may be tinkering with something else. We don't know. Or they may in the future. That should not be permitted. They should not be doing that. I think those people should be prosecuted criminally for putting the entire population of Earth at risk. And that was certain Deputy Assistant Undersecretary. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think he ought to be charged. Because there may be a lot of people in this country that may pass away because of his gross negligence. Anyway, said enough, beat on it enough. My friends, Mother Nature still has frogs, and they'll keep peeping. Hear that? No matter how bad it gets, these frogs will still keep peeping out here. The birds will keep singing. So, get out in nature and enjoy it. Say some prayers. Meditate. And join our prayer sessions and meditation sessions, because we're trying to push this thing out and push it away. And hopefully Paul, Cottrell, and some other people will start organizing to push for transparency in the development of vaccines. Oh yeah, Trump is putting $2.5 billion into fighting this now and trying to. He's requested it from the House. And part of that will be going into vaccine development. I know vaccines scare the devil out of people, and rightfully so in some cases. But if you have the proper transparencies and if they use the proper platform, it may not be so bad. If they do what they did in the past for trying to develop COVID vaccines, that might trigger a cytokine storm. That would be horrible. That could be horrible. But we shall see. We do want to know what they do, especially before they tell us you have to get it. We need to know what it is, how it was developed, and what it's going to do. And there needs to be testing, and lots of testing. And lots of transparency, and we need to push for transparency, if nothing else. Okay, my friends, it's late. I got to turn in. It is, wow, nearly 3 o'clock in the morning here. I talked way too long. So, but I love you so much. I want to try to help you, try to get the word to you, to tell you what's going on. It's important to me because I know I got some of the best followers, best subscribers in the world. read great comments. I just wish I had more time to read more and answer more. Sometimes I just glance at them. I don't have time to get in and answer them all. I'm so busy. You see me out here one time, you see me? It's tough. It's tough. Oh, the peepers. Right? Yeah, I do have a video on that. 9 hours of peepers. If you want to be a sleeper, put up my video of the peeper. Look for it. If you want to see all my videos, just click on videos above and just scroll through. Anyway, that's enough for tonight. I will be doing a video real soon. Yeah. Okay, I get cold every winter. Yeah, right. I hear you. Every winter except the winters I was in Alaska, I never had a sniffle or a cough up there. Interesting. I should be in Alaska, right? So, yeah, I'm Nordic. I'm out of place here. I'm out of fish out of water. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, play the peeper videos. Anyway, well, that's enough. Good night, friends. Bye.